Dr. Marcus Webb walked slowly toward the big glass window. Behind it was a cell. Inside that cell sat something everyone called the weapon. But Marcus saw something different when he looked at her. Her name was VX-7749. At least that was what the Varixian Empire called her. The Varixians were aliens who hated humans. They made her in their laboratories, growing her in special tanks filled with chemicals. She was designed to be a perfect killer. Her job was simple: kill humans and destroy their colonies. She looked almost human, but not quite. Her skin was silver blue and glowed softly in the dark. Her eyes were bright gold, like melted metal. Sharp bone blades could slide out from her forearms when she wanted to fight. She was beautiful in a strange, dangerous way. The soldiers brought her to Research Station Kepler 7 3 weeks ago. Her small ship had crashed near a human colony. She was trying to kill the people there, but something went wrong. Her ship fell from the sky. The soldiers found her in the wreckage, unconscious and bleeding. Now she was their prisoner. Everyone on the station had different plans for her. The intelligence officers wanted to cut her open and study her body. They wanted to know how the Varixians made such perfect weapons. The military commanders wanted to ask her questions about enemy bases and attack plans. Some soldiers just wanted revenge. She had killed 7 humans before her capture, but Marcus saw something nobody else noticed. At night, when the station was quiet, he watched her through the glass. She would curl up in the corner of her cell, like a scared animal. Sometimes tears rolled down her silver-blue cheeks. When guards came near, her whole body would shake with fear. She looked terrified and alone. Marcus read her file carefully. The medical team said her body was about 16 years old in human terms. 16, just a teenager. But she had never been to school. She had never played games or made friends. She had never celebrated a birthday. From the moment she opened her eyes in that Varixian tank, she was trained to fight and kill. That was her whole life. Marcus wrote a report. He said VX-7749 needed a psychiatrist, not an interrogator. She needed help, not torture. His commanding officer, Colonel Barnes, laughed when he read it. "Webb, are you crazy?" Barnes said, throwing the report on his desk. "It's not a person. It's a weapon with legs. It's a thing the enemy made to kill us. Stop being soft. Sir, she's just a child," Marcus argued. "She never chose this life. The Varixians programmed her." "I don't care," Barnes said coldly. "She killed 7 of our people. In 2 days we start enhanced interrogation. That's an order." Marcus left the colonel's office feeling sick. Enhanced interrogation meant torture. They would hurt her badly to get information. Maybe they would even kill her to study how she was made. That night, Marcus couldn't stay away. He went back to the observation deck alone. The station was quiet. Most people were sleeping. Through the glass, he saw VX-7749 sitting in the corner of her cell. She was humming a song, something soft and sad. It sounded like a lullaby, but sadder than any lullaby should be. Marcus pressed the intercom button. "That's a pretty song," he said gently. VX-7749's head snapped up. Her golden eyes went wide with shock. She stared at the window, looking confused and frightened. Nobody had ever talked to her like that before. Not kindly, not gently. For a long moment, they just looked at each other through the glass. Marcus saw fear in her eyes, yes, but also something else. Loneliness, hope, a desperate wish to be seen as more than just a weapon. "It's okay," Marcus said softly. "I'm not going to hurt you." VX-7749 didn't answer, but she didn't look away either. And for the first time since her capture, the terrified girl in the cell felt something strange and unfamiliar. She felt like maybe, just maybe, someone saw her as more than a monster. Marcus returned to the observation deck the next evening with a book in his hand. VX 7749 was standing near the glass this time, watching the door like she had been waiting for him. Her golden eyes tracked his every movement as he sat down in the chair facing her cell. "I brought something," Marcus said, holding up the book so she could see it. "It's called The Little Prince. It's a story about a boy who travels to different planets and learns about friendship." VX 7749 tilted her head, confused. "What is story?" Marcus felt his chest tighten. She didn't even know what a story was. A story is like imagining something that didn't really happen. It's for fun, for learning, for feeling things. Fun? She repeated the word like it was in a foreign language. "Varixian soldiers not have fun. We have missions. We have targets. We have kill counts." "Well, you're not on a mission right now," Marcus said gently. "So maybe you can try something new. Would you like me to read to you?" She hesitated, then slowly nodded. Her bioluminescent patterns flickered from red to soft purple. Uncertainty, Marcus guessed. He opened the book and began reading. His voice filled the empty observation deck, telling the story of a little prince who lived on a tiny planet with 3 volcanoes and a rose he loved. VX 7749 listened silently. At first her body was tense, ready to fight or run. But slowly, minute by minute, she relaxed. She sat down on the floor of her cell, hugging her knees, her glowing eyes fixed on Marcus through the glass. When he finished the first chapter, she spoke quietly. "The prince, he loves the rose. Even though rose has thorns, even though rose is difficult." "Yes," Marcus said. "He loves her because she's special to him, because he chose to care about her." "Choose," Vex F1 whispered. "Varixians not let me choose. They tell me, you kill this target, you destroy this building, you die if mission requires. I never choose anything." Marcus leaned forward. "What would you choose, if you could?" She was quiet for a long time. Her patterns shifted through different colors, blue, green, purple, back to blue. Finally she said, "I would choose to not kill anymore. I have dreams, bad dreams. I see faces of humans I killed. They scream, they cry, they beg. I see them every night. Those are called nightmares," Marcus said softly. "They happen because part of you knows that killing is wrong. That's your conscience. That's the part of you that makes you a person, not a weapon." "Person?" Her voice cracked. "Dr. Marcus, I not person. I am designation VX 7749. I am Varixian Battle Unit. I am—" "You're a girl who likes sad songs," Marcus interrupted. "A girl who cries when she's alone. A girl who has nightmares because she has a heart. That sounds like a person to me." VX 7749 stood up suddenly and walked to the glass. She pressed her hand against it. Up close, Marcus could see scars on her arms and neck. Marks from training, from fights, from the painful process of being grown in a tank. Her golden eyes were wet with tears. "When I was in growing tank," she said quietly, "I could hear things, voices. The scientists talked. One said, 'This batch showing too much emotion. We need fix that. Weapons should not feel.' They put me through procedures, painful procedures, to make me cold, to make me perfect killer. But it not work completely. I still feel things. Varixians say I am defective, broken. You're not broken," Marcus said firmly, placing his hand on the glass opposite hers. "You're human. Well, not human exactly, but you have humanity inside you. That's what matters." "Why you care?" she asked, tears sliding down her face. I kill your people. 7 humans dead because of me. Why you not hate me? Marcus took a deep breath. Because I lost someone to the Varixians, my daughter. She was 15, and hating didn't bring her back. But maybe helping you can mean something. Maybe saving one life can start to balance the scales. VX-7FM49's bioluminescent patterns turned bright blue, the color of hope. For the first time in her short, brutal existence, someone saw past the weapon to the frightened child underneath. Marcus stared at the document on his computer screen. His hands were shaking. The orders were clear. Enhanced interrogation protocol approved for subject VX-7749. Commencement. 800 hours tomorrow. He read the details and felt sick. They would use electricity, drugs, pain. They would keep her awake for days. They would break her mind to get information about Varixian bases and weapons. The medical officer even suggested exploratory surgery to study her internal organs while she was still alive. It was torture, plain and simple. Marcus looked at the clock, 11:47 p.m. In 8 hours, they would take Stella. He had started thinking of her by the name he'd given her and hurt her in ways that would destroy whatever humanity she had left. He couldn't let that happen. His hand moved to his personal tablet. He opened an encrypted message app and typed, "Chen, are you awake? It's urgent." Lieutenant Sarah Chen replied within seconds. "Yeah, can't sleep. Those interrogation orders? Meet me at Observation Deck 3. 20 minutes. Tell no one. Webb, what are you thinking?" "Something stupid. Something right. You coming?" There was a long pause. Then, "I'll be there." Marcus walked through the empty corridors of the station. His heart pounded so hard he thought it might burst through his chest. What he was planning was treason. He would lose everything, his career, his freedom, maybe his life. But when he closed his eyes, he saw his daughter's face. Emma had been so full of life before the Varixian attack killed her. If someone could have saved her, he would have wanted them to try. Sarah was waiting at the observation deck, wearing civilian clothes instead of her uniform. Smart, less suspicious on security cameras. "You want to break her out?" Sarah said. It wasn't a question. "Yes." "They'll hunt us down. We'll be fugitives." "I know." Sarah crossed her arms and looked through the glass at Stella. The girl was awake, sitting against the wall, staring at nothing. She looked so small and broken. "I joined the military to protect people," Sarah said quietly. "Not torture children, even alien children." She turned to Marcus. "I'm in. But we need a plan, a good one." For the next hour, they planned every detail. Sarah knew the security systems. Marcus knew the station layout. They found a path through maintenance tunnels that led to the emergency escape pods. Sarah could disable cameras for exactly 7 minutes before the system would alert Central Security. That was their window. At 2:45 a.m., they stood outside Stella's cell. Sarah's fingers flew across the security panel, entering override codes she wasn't supposed to know. The lock clicked open with a soft hiss. Stella jumped to her feet, her arm blades extending instantly. Her eyes blazed with fear and confusion. "Wait," Marcus said, raising his hands. "Stella, it's me. It's Marcus. Dr. Marcus." She looked between him and Sarah. "Why you here? Why door open?" "Because tomorrow they're going to hurt you," Marcus said. "They're going to torture you for information. They might even kill you. I can't let that happen." Stella's blades retracted slightly. You want to help me escape?" "Yes. But you have to decide. If you come with us, we'll all be running. They'll chase us. It will be dangerous. Or you can stay and face what's coming tomorrow. It's your choice." That word again. Choice. something she'd never really had before. "If I escape," Stella said slowly, "soldiers will chase. Maybe soldiers get hurt. Maybe you get hurt. Because of me. That's possible," Marcus admitted, "but it's my choice to take that risk." Stella looked at her hands, hands that had killed 7 people, hands that had only ever known violence. Then she looked at Marcus, the first person who ever called her a child, who ever read her stories, who ever saw her as more than a weapon. "I not want to die," she whispered. "I not want them to hurt me again. I have been hurt so much already." "Then come with us," Marcus said, extending his hand. "Let me help you." Stella stared at his hand for a long moment. Then slowly, she reached out and took it. Her skin was warm and her grip was gentle, despite the deadly strength she possessed. "Okay," she said. "I trust you, Dr. Marcus." Sarah checked her watch. "We have 6 minutes. Let's move." Together they ran into the darkness of the maintenance tunnels, leaving behind the prison cell and racing toward an uncertain freedom. The maintenance tunnels were dark and narrow. Emergency lights flickered overhead, casting strange shadows on the metal walls. Marcus led the way with a small flashlight. Sarah covered the rear, her pistol drawn. Stella moved between them, silent as a ghost. "Left here," Sarah whispered, checking her tablet. "We've got 4 minutes before cameras come back online." They turned into a corridor that smelled like oil and burnt wires. Stella's bioluminescent patterns were dim. Fear, Marcus realized. She was terrified, but trying to be brave. Suddenly alarms screamed to life throughout the station. Red lights flashed everywhere. Someone found the empty cell. Sarah cursed. "We need to move faster." They ran. Marcus's lungs burned. He wasn't young anymore, wasn't trained for this. But he pushed himself harder. Behind them, they heard shouting, heavy boots on metal floors. The security teams were coming. They burst through a door into the escape pod bay. It was a large room with 6 small pods attached to the walls. Emergency vehicles designed to get people off the station if something went wrong. But they weren't alone. Commander Reeves stood in the center of the bay with 12 armed soldiers. Their weapons were raised, red targeting lasers dancing across Marcus's chest. "End of the line, Webb," Reeves said coldly. His face was hard as stone. "Step away from the alien." "No," Marcus said, positioning himself in front of Stella. "I won't let you torture her." "That thing killed 7 of our people," one soldier shouted. "It deserves whatever it gets." "She was programmed," Marcus shot back. "She never had a choice. She's a victim, just like the people she killed." "It's a weapon," Reeves insisted. "It's dangerous. It can't be trusted." Stella stepped out from behind Marcus. Her hands were shaking, but she stood tall. "Commander Reeves," she said, her voice stronger than Marcus expected. "You are right. I am dangerous. I was made to kill. Varixians grew me in tank for only one purpose: destroy humans." The soldiers' grips tightened on their weapons. "But," Stella continued, "Dr. Marcus teach me something. He teach me that I am more than programming, more than mission orders. He show me stories about people who choose to be kind, who choose to be brave, who choose to change." She looked at Reeves with those golden eyes. "I cannot change past. I cannot bring back 7 humans I killed. I am sorry for them. I see their faces every night in dreams. They haunt me." One soldier lowered his weapon slightly, then another. "If you let us go," Stella said, "I promise I never hurt humans again. I want to learn. I want to be different. I want to choose good things instead of killing things. Please, give me chance." "How do we know you won't go back to the Varixians?" Reeves demanded. because they would destroy me. Stella said simply, I am defective weapon. I feel too much. I think too much. They would put me back in tank and unmake me, or they would dissect me to find my defects. Either way, I die. She took a deep breath. I not want to die. I want to live, to really live, not just exist as killing machine. The room was silent, except for the distant wailing of alarms. Marcus saw something shift in Reeves's expression. Doubt, maybe even sympathy. Commander, Sarah said, I've worked security here for 3 years. I've seen a lot of prisoners, murderers, terrorists, real monsters. But I've watched this girl for weeks. She's not a monster. She's a scared kid who was forced to do terrible things. Reeves looked at Stella for a long moment. Then he looked at Marcus. You're throwing your life away for this. No, Marcus said. I'm throwing my career away, but I'm saving my soul, and hers. The commander's jaw clenched. His hand moved to his communicator. Marcus tensed, ready for the worst. Then Reeves pressed a button. All units, false alarm in Sector 7. Stand down. Repeat. Stand down. The soldiers looked confused but obeyed, lowering their weapons. Reeves walked to the escape pod controls. You've got 90 seconds before I change my mind. Go, now. Sarah grabbed Marcus's arm. Come on. They rushed to the nearest pod. Sarah punched in the launch codes. The door hissed open. Thank you, Stella said to Reeves. Don't thank me, he replied. Just prove that bastard right. Prove you're worth saving. They climbed into the pod. The door sealed. Through the window, Marcus saw Reeves salute, a gesture of respect he never expected. The pod launched into space, carrying them toward an uncertain future and a fragile hope for redemption. The escape pod drifted through space for 3 days before a cargo ship picked them up. The captain was a grisly old trader named Kowalski, who asked no questions and took their credits without complaint. He dropped them at Haven's Rest, a small colony on the edge of human territory. Haven's Rest was perfect for people who wanted to disappear. It was a farming colony, far from military bases and government surveillance. Most people there were refugees, outcasts, or folks running from difficult pasts. Nobody judged. Nobody asked too many questions. The first weeks were hard. Stella had nightmares every night. She would wake up screaming, her arm blades extended, her bioluminescent patterns flashing red with terror. Marcus would rush to her small room and talk to her until she calmed down. Sometimes it took hours. I see them, she would whisper, tears streaming down her face. The people I killed. They ask me why. Why did you kill us? We had families. We had dreams. Why? Because you didn't have a choice then, Marcus would say gently. But you have choices now. Every day you can choose to be different, to be better. Slowly, things improved. The colony leader, a woman named Martha Chen, offered them a small house near the community greenhouse. She was Sarah's aunt. Sarah had sent a message ahead, asking her to help. Martha took one look at Stella and said, That girl needs sunshine and soil, healing things, growing things. She was right. Stella discovered she'd loved gardening. Her Varixian genetics made her incredibly strong, so heavy work was easy for her. But she learned to be gentle with the fragile plants. She learned patience, watching seeds slowly become sprouts, then flowers, then vegetables. One afternoon, 6 months after their arrival, Marcus found Stella in the greenhouse, laughing, actually laughing. She was with a group of colony children, teaching them how to plant tomato seedlings. A little boy named Tommy had accidentally dumped an entire bag of soil on his head. Stella's bioluminescent patterns glowed bright yellow, joy, as she helped brush the dirt from his hair. "Miss Stella, you're really strong," Tommy said, amazed at how easily she lifted a heavy water container. "Are you a superhero?" Stella paused. Once, she would have said she was a weapon, a killer. But now, looking at these children's innocent faces, she smiled. "No, I am just Stella, a gardener who is still learning." Marcus's heart swelled with pride. That evening they sat on the porch of their small house, watching Haven's Rest's twin suns set behind the mountains. The sky turned purple and orange and gold. "Dr. Marcus," Stella said quietly, "I want to tell you something." "What is it?" "Today, for first time since I woke up in Verixian tank, I did not think about killing, not once. All day, I only thought about tomatoes and soil and teaching children. I think I am becoming different person." Marcus felt tears in his eyes. "You're becoming who you were always meant to be. Not a weapon, just Stella." "I still have bad days," she admitted. "Sometimes I see soldier uniforms and I want to fight. Sometimes loud noises make me afraid. Sometimes I hate Verixians for making me this way." "That's okay," Marcus said. "Healing isn't a straight line. It's messy and hard and takes time. But you're doing it. You're really doing it." They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Stella leaned her head on Marcos's shoulder, something that would have been impossible months ago, when she flinched from any touch. "Marcus," she said softly. She didn't call him doctor anymore. Just Marcus, like family. "Yes. Thank you for calling me child that night. Thank you for seeing me when everyone else only saw a weapon. You saved my life. Not just from interrogation room. You saved me from being monster forever." Marcus wrapped his arm around her shoulders. "You saved yourself, Stella. I just opened the door. You're the one who walked through it. You're the one who chose to be better." Above them, stars began appearing in the darkening sky. Thousands of them, millions. Each one a possibility. Each one a promise that the universe was bigger than the violence and pain of the past. Stella's bioluminescent patterns glowed soft blue. Contentment and peace. For the first time in her existence, she wasn't a designation or a weapon or a killing machine. She was just Stella, a girl who loved gardens and stories and watching sunsets. A girl who had been given a choice and chose kindness. A girl who proved that even those designed for destruction could grow into something beautiful. And in the warmth of that realization, surrounded by the quiet peace of Haven's Rest, both Stella and Marcus finally found what they'd been searching for: home.